genuinely into it. Like, I don't like it very much. I understand, like, if you're a commentator, it's your job. You got to make money. Like, I get it. That's not going to stop me from complaining about the fact that, like, oh, I don't want to play this because it's not popular. Now, play what you want to play. It's your channel. I subscribe for you, not for, you know, the viewer. I didn't subscribe for the sake of other viewers. I subscribe for the sake of me. That's just my own personal rant against commentators, but whatever. StarCraft is amazing. There's no doubt about that. It attained huge popularity. StarCraft 2 was not a disappointment.
I haven't played it yet. But I've seen a lot of gameplay from it. I've seen a lot of like online gameplay. I've seen a lot of the story. I've read a lot about it on like Wikipedia and different like blogs and whatnot. Yeah. I heard it was very well received, but because what they did with StarCraft 2 is they released StarCraft 2 kind of like Half-Life 2, and they're doing it in 3 episodes. So it's going to be Heart of the Swarm. Or the Wings of Liberty, which was the first part of StarCraft 2. Yeah. Then StarCraft 2 is Heart of the Swarm. Heart of the Swarm, and the third one is
Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And Legacy of the Void.
Do you know when that comes out?
It's still in development.
Right, but we don't have like
there's no confirmed date. I'd say probably 2015.
Do we don't have a confirmed date for the PlayStation 4 yet? Do we? Like
November.
Not that I know.
I think they said something like Thanksgiving or maybe.
Like American Thanksgiving, yeah?
Probably. Well, I can't see them releasing it. They don't care. Give a crap about
Canadian Thanksgiving. Can you imagine?
In which, I don't know, we don't watch football.
Actually, in my case, of course, I do watch football, but most people, watching out for the PlayStation 4. There's just a peculiar thing. Well, I guess that's the idea, is that it's like, well, when do we want to sell it? Well, we can play it. We can sell it on American Thanksgiving when everyone else in the world is watching football except for the gamers.
Yeah. We'll trip up the football fans as they're walking to the stadium as they pass by the lines by the EB Games, or GameStop as they're known in America.
Apparently, we got Q4 up here, so still Q4. But let's get real. I mean, it's November.
Yeah.
What are they going to release in October? No.
December? No.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no way. I'd
say December 15th or November 15th.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
I'd chart that, and that was when the first one. That was when the PlayStation 3 came out. I want to say it was around
probably
November 10th ish, somewhere around there.
StarCraft 2. I've heard that Wings of Liberty had certain units were underpowered, certain units were overpowered, but they fixed that when Heart of the Swarm came out.
Exactly. Yeah, which is important.
So they're very good at fixing it. I've heard Heart of the Swarm. The multiplayer is they changed up a lot. Like, for example, there's a Protoss unit called the Colossus, I think it is. And if I remember correctly, he was overpowered, and so they he was underpowered compared to the other units. So they had to buff up his defense.
The Colossus was underpowered.
Yeah, no, that was
very underwhelming.
Because he was only good against 2 units, and so they were like, oh, well, we're gonna have to give him increased strength to make him useful against somebody else or something. Yeah. And they've always been. I feel like StarCraft has always had very solid gameplay. It's not just one way you can win a battle. I find that most of the time in Call of Duty, at least when I play, I'm always getting gunned down by the one guy who has the AK-47 and rapid fire.
Yeah, or the FAMAS. Yeah, the FAMAS is a big one.
But in StarCraft, there's very few ways. There's no one way to play, except for Zerg rushing. But even that's kind of frowned upon.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And I think you're right. I mean, it's one of those things. The great thing about Resistance 1 Online was that it's warm in here, isn't it?
Oh my god.
The great thing about Resistance 1 Online was that you had certain weapons, but they were ranged, right? So the carbine was only a mid-range weapon.
Yeah.
Close range, the bullseye was better. Far range, the bullseye was totally useless, as you and I both know.
Yeah.
If you imagine trying to hit something with a bullseye from that far away.
Unless you got the bullseye attached to him, even then, that's a lucky shot.
Exactly. Yeah. And and on top of that, there was the arc charger, which probably did the most damage, but within a 3-foot radius.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the wonderful thing about those games. I think the Call of Duty people focus so much on balance, they forget to actually balance anything.
Yeah.
Peculiar. But StarCraft has actually done a very good job of it. Over the years in terms of balancing things.
But the reason I like StarCraft is I like the story, because I've always enjoyed playing the story.
Yeah.
Although I will admit I'm kind of stuck where I am right now, just because I got most of the way through the last level of the Terran campaign of StarCraft 1, where I went back and started playing it again. Mm-hmm. Got most of the way through. My guy, I lost because, well, let's just say the enemy was being cheap and not they were. I would use a string of expletives, but I'm not, because I don't want to get kicked off the radio. So let's just say I was very annoyed with the fact of what the enemy was doing, and they wiped up my entire army, and I was dead. So I just gave up, and I haven't had the heart to go back at it again.
Yeah, fair enough. It
was an hour and a half setting up for this final push, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, and then it's over. Well, it's one of those things. But I'm really impressed that companies that release expansion packs and fix problems. That's delightful when they do that. Like, seriously, so many companies don't. I'm curious. Can I get your take on this? We're coming up in the last 15 minutes, so I can go a little bit off topic. But yeah,
not that we don't mind doing the show.
We love the show, but you have no idea how warm it is in here.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm afraid that lead might melt. We're getting to that.
Not only is the air conditioner seemingly never work, but there are 4 computers in this room, and it makes it very hot. And 2 people. So
and if the Matrix has taught you anything,
and it's not exactly a big room we're in here right now. And the door's closed and there's studio glass and whatnot. But
you think we get mad if I fired off the fire extinguisher? Because I heard those are pretty cold.
I bet they are very cold. I wonder what the people in 2 studios over from us right now in there would think if we, what that guy would think if we took out the fire extinguisher and used that to cool ourselves off. But regardless, I want to
go way off topic.
I want to go a little off track here. All right.
And before we end, can we talk about the occult rift just before we end?
You go ahead.
I want to do it at the end. So
sure. Okay. Let me talk about it. I got to ask you this question, right? Okay. So I've been following the Skyrim online community lately. Because I like Skyrim, and the next Elder Scrolls isn't out yet. Because Skyrim is pretty much the only thing we have to talk about. Do you think the mages are underpowered?
In what?
Skyrim.
Underpowered?
Yes.
I think I don't know because.
Do you have a mage character?
Well, I have a mage character, but my mage character is the fact that I will blast them with fireballs until I get up close and then smash them over the head with my longsword.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. So you don't have like a really hardcore magic guy.
No, I know. Like I respect people do because I have found that like once an enemy gets up close and you're doing the back away, blast them with like lightning bolts or whatever. It's like but like because you need it. I feel like in Skyrim you need a mix of like long range and personal close range fighting techniques. That's why fireballs and swords work perfectly well for me because fire tends to kill anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Also crossbows.
I have a Breton wizard, and I'm having a really hard time with it, to be honest, because spells are just one of those things.
Because anything that can get up close is going to do a lot of damage to you because you're not short, but you don't have a lot of defense, and anything that can that can hit you from far away is going to be like a dragon priest or something, or a dragon that's going to be doing a lot of damage anyway. It's
really hard to get dragons. I've noticed with my wizard.
Have you gotten dragon rend?
I don't.
Complete the main quest up until when you get Dragon Ring, because that knocks them out of the sky right away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should get more into the main quest. I found like it's tough, like because you get up like especially when you get up to like High Hrothgar, right? Which is like where I am with my mage character.
Yeah.
I was up there and it was like so I ran a frost troll.
I know that frost troll. Hit him with fire.
That's what I did, but the problem is, like, I'm still so early in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like level 5 or something. And I ran out of magicka. And of course, I run out of magicka, and then he regenerates health.
Yeah.
So it's like, go up with fire, run out of magicka. It took me, it must have been, honestly, it was a 5-minute duking it out with this guy for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really strange, but I mean, hopefully.
You know how I beat him the first time?
How?
I shouted him off the side of the mountain.
Oh, with the unrelenting force?
Yeah.
That's a great... do you remember when we
that
were
was completely back, so it was a Fushro gun, and all of a sudden, boom.
You were over at my house, and we were doing the College of Winterhold quest, where you become the Archmage.
Yeah.
Or as my friend Jason likes to call it, the Dean of Winterhold. You've been at university too long.
Yep.
And I accidentally hit shout and knocked the frost troll off the set of staircases, and he went down the other one, then he went down the other one.
You took out, like, most of his health, too.
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember that one time I was down with the Falmer. The Falmer are the ones who are blind, right? But they can hear really well. And so I was, like, with the Falmer, and my idea was to defeat them was, what I was going to do is I was on the spiral staircase. So I was going to go down to the Falmer, I was going to make a lot of noise, because that's what alerts them. And I was going to bring them up to the top of the spiral staircase.
I'm still listening.
And, oh yeah, I know. And I was going to use Unrelenting Force and knock them right off. And so I'm ready. I've got them in a perfect position, right? I'm ready to go. I, snap down on the right trigger, which is what, I don't know what the button is on Xbox, but that certainly is the button on PlayStation in my control scheme.
Yeah.
And I had Whirlwind Sprint equipped.
And you just
ran
charged.
right off the staircase.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. So always check your shouts. That's my main advice to new Skyrim players. Check your shouts before you go. We've got about 10 minutes left. Do you want to
Yeah, but
Wanna go?
before I talk about the Occultist Rift, because that's something I only know today.
Sure, yeah.
Any last thoughts on Blizzard? Because I want to say that they're one of the better gaming companies out there. Not because
I wanna agree.
they're like they've released some of my favorite